Alright everyone, here we are going to be installing the new FITCAMX. So the easiest thing to do is just bend this down, get it out of your way, and I think you could just press up on this part here, push on the bottom with your finger. That should release the clip, and then that'll pop it out, and you can just slide this down. You're left with this piece off. That to the side. The second piece says that it just pushes down, so you just push forward. There you go. And then these white clips here will have to get transferred onto the new unit. So just looking at what we have in front of us, this here is the front camera. This is the harness that FITCAM gives you, the plug and play harness, which gives you power when the ignition is on. There's no constant 12 volts here. That comes from this one that's actually the mirror tap. So this is an overtrail, does not have the extra rear view camera to have the digital mirror, so we only have one harness here. And then not sure what this other one is. Probably something for rain sensor maybe. So what I ended up doing was modifying their plug and play harness to accommodate the 3-wire version that gives you power, ground, and then constant power also. So I'm going to be tapping off of this top left red wire here, which is going to be the constant power, and that's going to be this red wire. So I already have a fuse set up here. There's a fuse set up for the switched power, and when I connect this into here, now this camera will work in the parking mode. So this will be the one wire to the camera, and then I'll run the wires for the rear camera after. Okay, so this is the modified harness. So I took the original plug and play, I clipped out the one that went to the camera, that piece which only had red and black. So I took the constant power kit, which has the yellow wire, and instead of running it to the fuse box, I figured I'd just modify this. So what you're looking at here is that wire cut, and I added a fuse here, and I'm going to probably use one of these taps, tap it right into the mirror. So this will always have 12 volts when the car is off. It's fused. And then also this setup is original to what the plug and play harness came with. So I don't know why they didn't just use the other harness that had everything you needed in there. So I have to jumper this over to another plug. Plug this here. This will plug into here. I did remove some of the extra wires that aren't used in this harness just to make it a little bit thinner. There's only 3 of them, so make sure that clips in properly. This will end up going into here. Put this to the side. And that's where they have recommended to put that piece anyway. See how that works out when everything's in there. And then this is where I need to make my tap. So what I was thinking of doing was using one of these wire taps, but then I would have to peel back all of this in order to get this to snap on. So I'll probably cut this back a little bit, make some room, then I can use this wire tap with this wire, put that in so I have a solid connection, fused, going back to here, and then just throw in the camera, and then should be good to go. Here you can see I'm using the wire tap. You need to make sure you pull back enough of the harness so you have room in there to work with, and then use the pliers to firmly bite into the wire. This will allow you to close the tab properly at the side and lock it into place, and it won't come loose on you in the future. And then you can use some tape to tie it all up neatly and tuck it away. So for the new camera setup, they did say to practice a few times to make sure you can get these to clip right. I'm not sure if the slide actually slides the way they intended to. You might have to pry up on one of the pieces at the side when it goes in, just to get this piece to slide in. Looks like more of an angle, if anything. So I did go ahead and buy the filters. So it's just a little double-sided tape that just went on this one. For the back, it doesn't look as secure. That one just has a little piece that goes here, a little double-sided tape at both ends. It kind of shakes around a little bit, so I don't think it's that secure, but we'll see how it works out. So first I gotta transfer these pieces. And it just snaps right in. Nice little clip there. Right, so size-wise, it's pretty much the same exact shape. Just adds the little camera bump there. The vents here for that unit up there is kind of relocated. What's that?
So I apologize for not moving the camera back up to get a proper view, but basically you slide this bottom piece back in, it snaps in nicely with the clips transferred to the new unit, and then you got a little bit of cable management there. You need to make sure that you tuck all the wires away and you're not putting too much pressure onto the plastic, or else the next piece is going to be a little bit more difficult to snap into place properly. So it takes a little bit of trial and error, but just be patient with it and just make sure you make the wires all neat and find a way to tuck away the new cables that will go through the headliner. You'll just push that up towards the top and then you shouldn't have any issues after that.
This part might be a little bit challenging. I don't know why they didn't just reuse the OEM. Unless the plastic finishes. It's a little different. In case you mix them up, you can just check the finish or see that one says XT online, the other one actually says FITCAMX. So that's the one we're going to be using. So just tuck your wires as neat as possible. I get everything flat and out of the way. You can see. Just try to make everything as low profile as possible. This, you're supposed to slide it, but I'm not sure if it will. Snapped in there. Got snapped in there. And some people have trouble with the side. You have to kind of move it around. Get the clip to look neat.
This is probably the most difficult part of the entire install. Getting these two pieces to line up while trying to fight with the clips at the bottom is going to be extremely difficult. What you need to do is try and pull one side down while getting the top to snap in, and then slide in the bottom back up towards the roof. I found that was the best way to do it. If you try to do it with the bottom fully in place, it's never going to line up. So a lot of trial and error until you finally get it to click in. But again, the best way to do it is slightly off from the bottom clips, get the top to line up, and then snap everything back up into place towards the roof. Once everything is in place in the middle by the mirror, you can start snaking that wire through the headliner, come around the A pillar. The best way to do this is not to pull it off, but use the pry tools to just make some room between the headliner and the top of the A-pillar, and then slowly push the wire in. Just be gentle around the edges not to kink it up. And once you get that through, then you can move on to the headliner going towards the back of the truck.
I was just tucking this down, just throw it in there, could just let it hang loose. There's some straps, some cable in here. Just needs to be enough to cover that back up. Do the same here. Take the reel out, open up the back door, slip through here, pull it out towards that end. So what I did here, finished pulling the wire all the way across, just tucked it under here, pushed it under here until we got slack out, pulled it here. There's like 3 blue clips that hold the headliner, so be a little careful when you pull on this. I just tucked the excess wire in the back, and I don't know how this is going to stay, but play around with that and see how it goes. I try to put it on the top of the wiper area, but then you would have to snake this wire in, and you got to be real careful here because you actually have the hose that goes up to the washer, it looks like, so don't want to pierce that. It's a pretty hard bend to get around. I was going to come in here, come around, and then put that right there, but save that for another time, see how it works out from up top. So maybe later on, if this doesn't hold, maybe you can make some kind of flange bracket that you could stick in between the headliner and put it on the metal.
So this is what the rear camera looks like when it's complete. I actually used the double-sided tape that came with the camera and went directly onto the fabric since it was clean. It's been 2,000 miles and it hasn't fallen off yet. The front camera is very factory looking. The only difference would be the bump on the bottom, which houses the actual camera, and the SD card that you can see on the passenger side. The finish looks very smooth and OEM looking, and from the outside it does look like the car came with this from the factory. So very well put together product, and definitely looks better on the dash compared to many of the other aftermarket solutions that they have. Here's a quick sample clip showing the front and rear camera and the audio. You can see the nighttime driving in extreme dark conditions isn't bad on the front camera. And this next clip I had to remove the audio. You can fill in the blanks with your imagination. Let's demonstrate the parking mode. It's been parking here for about 5 minutes now. So I'm going to walk up to it and I'm going to hit the glass, and we'll see when it actually starts to record that video. So that should definitely trigger it. Should start recording front and back, and we'll see what that video actually looks like. When you take a look at the save clip, it will still be a 1-minute video or whatever setting you have. It will start recording 7 seconds prior to the actual impact. In order to access the files on the camera, you have to disconnect all other Wi-Fi connections, including CarPlay, Android Auto, or your home Wi-Fi. And then once you log into it, you'll be able to see the live view of the camera, and then you could click on camera files. It'll bring you to this screen where you could select from loop, which has all the videos saved for both front and back cameras. Snapshot would be anything that you press manually while driving. It'll take a picture. And then locked would be anything that is triggered off of the motion sensitivity that is set. Parking mode does not actually save anything there. I reached out to FITCAM and they said that anything that is saved under the parking mode will be put into the locked folder. So you can use the locked folder to access any type of file. My final thoughts on the camera is that it is very good quality. It's OEM looking. It blends into The interior, you can't even tell that there's something aftermarket there, so that's definitely a plus. No extra wires, no extra screens to look at. The app is very user friendly. Within a couple of minutes you can figure it out. The front resolution is very clear, the rear is just as good. Nighttime vision is not too bad at all, so I would definitely recommend this camera to anyone who's interested in getting something extra to protect you out on the road. Until next time, take care everyone. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Take care.